guys, welcome back. So today we are going to make a Copycat vegan spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes. I have my two bowls. One bowl is going to be wet batter and this bowl is going to be dry batter. So let's start with the wet batter first, and we're going to add 1 cup of milk. I'm just using rice milk, but you can use whatever plant milk you want. So that was half a cup. We're going to use another half cup to make a whole cup. And now we're going to add 1 cup of flour. So I'm adding half of a cup. Ooh. Okay, now I'm going to add another half of a cup. And you just want a pancake. Let me move my hand. You just want a pancake consistency. If you put too much flour, just take some more milk to thin it out. If it's not thick enough, just add more flour. So that is it. So we are going to move on to the dry batter now. I'm adding 1 cup of flour. So I just added about 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, and now I'm adding 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. And I'm just going to whisk it together. Now it's time to add the seasoning. So for the wet batter, I'm adding salt and pepper. Okay, now for the dry batter, it's time to add the seasoning. So this is where you put the majority of the seasoning, and I'm just gonna add it like by color just because I don't know, it's easier to remember that way. So first I'm gonna add some black pepper and really go heavy with the seasoning because you want it to be flavorful. You want it to taste like real chicken. And any chicken that you get like at a fast food place is gonna have a whole bunch of seasoning. So don't be shy with the seasoning this time. I'm not really measuring, I'm just like eyeballing. So next I'm doing some salt. Next, I'm doing this vegan chicken-less seasoning salt. So it's gonna give it like that chicken flavor. Next, I'll be adding a little bit of cumin, not too much because cumin is pretty strong, but onion powder, garlic powder, now it's time to add the red seasoning. So I'm adding some paprika, some cayenne pepper, not too much because I don't want it to be too spicy, but you want to have a little kick. The green seasoning now, so I'm adding some parsley flakes, some dried parsley, dried cilantro, you can kind of already smell it. I kind of want to sneeze because of the pepper, but I'm not going to do that. Okay guys, now that the batters are done, it's time to move on and start double battering. So this is what I'm using. I'm using oyster mushrooms because they're the closest thing that's going to mimic the texture of chicken, and then when it's fried, it gives you the shape of fried chicken. So yeah, this is the best type of thing to use, and it just comes like this. You can get them already separated, but I'm just gonna cut them off and separate it. So just cut the stem. And start separating them. It comes apart really easily. Okay, so we're gonna get it to look like fried chicken and taste like fried chicken by double battering. So this is what most fast food places do. They double batter their chicken to make it extra crispy. So the way to do that is just to take one piece and dip it into the wet batter, let it drip, dip it into the dry batter, make sure it's coated, dip it back in the wet batter, coat again, and then dip it back into the dry batter and coat it again. So you're basically just doing the same process but 2 times, and that's called double battering. And then once that's done, you just put it to the side. I have a paper plate here that I'm gonna put all the ones on that I'm done with. So yeah, this does get kind of messy, so it's better to have one hand that's like a wet hand and then one hand that's a dry hand. So I'm taking one, putting it in the wet batter, just let the whole thing coat it, make sure it's fully coated. Let the excess drip off because you don't want it to mix too much. It is gonna mix, but when it mixes too much, then it gets kind of messy. So let it drip off. Throw it in here, switch my hand, because this is my dry hand, and just coat it. Oh. And now that it's coated, I'm just gonna throw it back in, switch hands, because now I'm using the wet hand, and it is gonna mix a little bit, but it's okay. And now throw it back into the dry, switch hands. Just make sure it's fully coated. And this is what it looks like once it's double battered. So I'm just gonna put it to the side and do it again for you guys. Be careful not to like mix hands by accident. You could do multiple of them. You can throw in 2 at a time, 3 at a time, but I like to take it slow. Definitely don't throw all of them because it just gets messy and they all get lost, so be careful. So yeah, I'm dipping it, letting it drip, throwing it in here, switching hands. Now that it's coated, I'm throwing it back in, switching hands, coating again. And then letting it drip a little, throwing it back in, switch hands. So now it's nice and thick and double battered. And then when it fries, it's gonna look just like fried chicken. So yes, I'm going to do the rest and then come back. I'm all done and this is what it looks like. You can barely see what it looked like before because it's so coated. And I even did some tofu pieces too, just to show you guys how versatile these is. I even did some tofu pieces as well, just to show you how versatile this recipe is. I didn't double batter these, I just battered it one time. But yeah, you can use tofu if you don't like mushrooms. You can use cauliflower, anything you want. But for this specific recipe, it's really good to use oyster. But yeah, now it is time to deep fry everything. Okay guys, so as the chicken is cooking, I'm just going to make my little special sauce that I'm gonna put on the sandwich. So it's a few ingredients, just vegan mayo, I'm using Vegenaise, some ketchup, regular ketchup, and some chipotle chili powder just to give it a little spiciness, and some lime juice, just a little bit. So I'm just gonna mix that all together in this little bowl. This is the bun that I will be using, just a regular hamburger bun, and I'm just going to toast it so it's nice and toasty. These are vegan, they have no eggs or milk in them. So yeah, I'm just gonna toast these. The chicken is all done. It looks so good and so realistic. And I'm just gonna need only 1 or 2 pieces to make the sandwich. So I'm just gonna bind a big piece. But yeah, it's so crunchy and I already had some and it tastes so good already. So yeah, now it's just time to assemble the sandwich. I'm going to just heat up the chicken in the microwave because it did cool down a little bit. And I'm also going to add some cheese. I just have a slice of Daya cheese. And I have these two pieces, so it's just like two different pieces. And I'm put them together to make one like whole sandwich to like fit the bun. And then I'm gonna put the cheese on top and put it in the microwave so the cheese can melt, and then put it on the bun. So yes, this is going in the microwave right now. Okay, so my buns are all toasted, and now I'm just going to put the mayo that I made on them. So this just came out of the microwave and the cheese is melted, so I'm just going to put it on the bun. And ooh, maybe I should add some more sauce. Okay, you guys, so I ended up making two, and I'm basically done. That is it. This is what they look like, and they look so good, and I'm so excited to try them. And I feel like even people who aren't vegan would love it. And I never had the sandwich, but I'm gonna assume that this is pretty close. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.